Okay, dear students, we are continuing our introduction part of the operating system. In the last lecture, in the introduction part of the operating system, we had covered what is an operating system, what is the definition of the operating system, what is the goal of the operating system, what are the functions of the operating system, and how we have to realize the operating system with respect to the real world scenario. And also, we had to discuss what are the components of the operating system, what are the application component, software components, hardware components, etc. And today we have to discuss the types of operating systems. There are different types of operating system with respect to the applications program of the real world. Among them, some operating systems are simple batch operating system, multi-programming operating system, time sharing operating system, distributed operating system, and real-time operating system. And these categories of operating systems are frequently realized in our real life or day-to-day life of living. Let us go to discuss one by one. First, we have to discuss the batch operating system. A simple batch operating system. In simple, the batch operating system, it is a very older concept of the operating system near to the century 1960s, and most concept of the simple batch operating system is that it process files or operations batch wise. Batch wise means one after another's. Means at a moment of time, at an instant of time, it can perform only one task. That's why its name is the batch operating systems. And the some characteristic of the simple batch operating systems are it reduces set up time by batching jobs with similar requirements. The whenever you have to perform the batching operation over job are generally placed in the secondary devices, and secondary devices are directly not connected with the CPU. It is connected with the main memory. That's why the jobs are taking from the secondary memory to main memory or RAM. Batch wise means one after another. Means at a time we cannot take more than one files or process or jobs or programs from secondary memory to main memory. And whenever you have to perform the batching of jobs or batching operation of the jobs of main memory, it will be reduces setup time, because already the process are taking from the secondary memory to main memory. CPU is not directly connected with the secondary memory or hard disk, but because the hard disk is very slow, the CPU is very faster, main memory is very faster, and CPU is very faster. Since CPU is very faster, it is directly connected with the main memory, and it takes the process from the main memory. That's why whenever it will take the process from the main memory, it will perform the batching operations one by one, which is a reduce it of time. Next characteristic, add a card reader, means a secondary reader. Here on a operator. User is not the operator. Automatic job sequencing performed by these batch operating systems. Once you have to place more than one jobs in the main memory, automatically the batch operating system sequencing perform the operations or process the or execute the process. Inside resident monitor means holds initial control and a control transfer of job and then back to the monitors. Already I have told about the swap in and swap out. Means jobs are generally the present in the secondary memory or hard disk, and it can be take out or swap in to the main memory and residence in the main memory. Then the processor will process that job with automatically. And what are the problems? Need to distinguish job from job and and a data from program. That means already we have known the processing data is called as the informations, and in the hard disk there is more time, there are numerous amount of data and jobs are available. But how can you distinguish the job from data? This is the one demerit of the simple batch operating system. Next we have to discuss batch operating system issues. Like the one issue is that it is it performs, it cannot distinguish data and jobs. This is the primary issue. Then what are the remaining issues we have to discuss? The solution to the speed of IO. The second issue is the it is very slower because it process the jobs or process the processes or process the programs one after another's. That's why whenever during the execution if the process is executed by the processor and during the execution process if one processor needs the IO request, then at that time CPU will be idles. If CPU will idle automatically or the system performance will decrease. If the system performance will decrease, it may be a speed decrease or it may be space decrease or time. That's why how we have to resolve this solution to resolve speed of input output operations. The first operations are offline processing. First solution to the speed of processing is that means batching processing is the offline processing. Offline processing means loads job into memory from tapes, means second tape is a secondary memory. It will loads into the main memory. Tapes or card reading or line printing are done in the offline. Okay, because the CPU is directly not connected with the secondary devices or hard devices. This is the one solutions to increase the speed of batch operating systems or IO input output operations. The second is that spooling. The spooling means stands for the simultaneous operations, performs operation online operations, simultaneously performs online operations. That is called as the spooling. Simultaneously at the same time, because batch operating system, the processes each files your jobs one after another. But how can you perform the batch operating system simultaneously? We have over the more than one process. The first solution is that use disk, means random access device as a large storage for reading as many input files as possible and storing output files until output devices are ready to accept them. That means we know the hard disk is a secondary storage devices with a high capacity, but main memory is speedier but the low capacity. There is a speed mismatch will be occur. To avoid the speed mismatch, we have to perform spooling operations by using the disk. Second is the allow overlapping. Means if one process is executing by the processor, if another process has come, then you have to overlap that older processes. That is then automatically job is the computation of another's. Means the computation criteria or computation operations increases. The second is the third one is the introduces notions of a job pool that allows operating system choose next job to run so as to increase CPU utilizations. Okay, that means introduces a notion of jobs. Means the one major disadvantage of the batch operating system, it cannot distinguishes which one is a job and which one is the data. Okay, that's why we have to maintain a job pool to distinguish or choose next job to run as a to increase the CPU utilizations. Okay, that is the introduce the notions of job pool. In the job pool is a ready queue like the main memory. It will takes the process will come from the secondary memory, means waiting queue to ready queue in the job pool. Then whenever the process will required jobs are directly it will takes from the job pool. That's why the CPU utilization will be increases. Next one, whatever I have discussed, this is the secondary devices or IO devices. This is the CPU or processor. This is the main memory. CPU is not directly connected with IO devices or a secondary memory because IO devices is very slower. CPU is very faster. So that's why speed mismatch will be occur. To perform the speed mismatch or IO component reads a IO device operation perform. There is a need of some another memory increases the memory. There is a memory in terms of a cache memory registers like that. The memories are introduced between the CPU and IO devices. That is called direct memory access, and this is the one channels. When the by the help of channels, we have to directly channels are directly connected to the memory and not to the IO devices. That is in the form of a job pools. That's why the CPU is connected with the job pools directly instead of a memory via. That's why it will be faster. Next is the batch system. Next is the batch systems IO completions. How do you know that IO is completed? Means whenever you have to perform the IO operations, in which time it will complete? How can you know if you are executing the batch operating systems? By the help of the pullings and interrupts. Means pulling means a device set of flags. It will take the flag means a standard variable. By using that standard variable, we have to maintain how much time it will be at the completion time of whenever the flag is full or variable is assigned some particular value, then we have to know IO device is completed. Second, by the interrupts. Interrupts means we have to intentionally to stop this to stop that executing process. Then already we have to know IO completion is process completed. On completion of IO device forces CPU to jump to the specific instruction address that are contain the interrupt services routines. That is the ISR services. Interrupt service routines. By the help of interrupt service routine, we can insert the interrupts to the IO request. Automatically the IO request will be interrupted and the CPU will start the executions. Then to avoid this type of demerit means speed. Second is the spooling. Then the job pooling. Pooling means job pooling to maintain the job pooling. The third one is the it is the batching operations. To avoid this type of disadvantage, we go to the next type of operating system, that is the multi-programming operating system. From the nomenclature of the multi-programming operating system, we can see that multi means more than one task can perform at the same time. The task are maybe a program or maybe anything. That's why how can you perform the multi-programming? The first one is the use interrupt to run multiple programs simultaneously. Simultaneously means suppose there is a job queue. There is a job queue or job pools, and there is many jobs are available. So you have to take some more than one jobs or programs from the job pools to the execution by the CPU. Then CPU will be whenever one process is executed. If another process will come the higher priority, then that previous executing process will be interrupts or go to the waiting queue. Then after completion of the new running process, then again will come. That means use interrupt simultaneously. Means there is a simultaneously we have to concurrent operations. Then is the requires a secure memory IO for each requires secure memory IO for each program. Means there is no chance of program overlapping. To avoid the overlapping, whenever the one program is overlapping the another program, automatically the data will miss. That's it. To avoid the data missing, we have to requires the secure memory and secure IO for each program. Means each program has a particular memory address and particular IO address. And that particular IO and memory address, a particular program will stored in such a that in the future we can easily access data. There is no interrupt will be occur. Second one is the requires intervention if a program loops indefinitely. Means whenever the program will execute indefinite amount of time, in that case we have to require interventions. Means we make a forcefully we have to stop that automatically if the if a particular program execution is infinitely time, automatically the day will come, the RAM will be full, your buffer will be full. Means abnormal program termination will be done. To avoid the abnormal program terminations, the user or requires intervention. Okay. Next is the require CPU scheduling to choose the next job to run. If more than one jobs, in case of multi-programming operating system, if more than one jobs are come to schedule at the same time, then we have to apply the a scheduling technique of the CPU. Means the CPU will be applied a criteria. Depending upon the criteria, it will choose a one job for processing out of n jobs. That's why this is called as the CPU scheduling. Okay, this is called the multi-programming. Next is the time sharing operating systems, and most one example of the multi-programming operating systems are the Windows are the multi-programming operating system. Linux are also multi-programming and multitasking operating system also, because in case of a window, if we have listening the job, listening music, then we can perform some also MS Office work or documentation work. That means at a time, Windows can perform two tasks. One is the reading the singing, reading the music. Another is the documentation, some MS Office maintenance, and also you can some printer options. You can perform some scanning operations by using the scanner class, printer class. That's why this is one example of the multi-programming operating system. But the DOS is the batch programming operating system or uniprogramming operating system. It's at a time one program can be executed in the DOS. But in case of DOS, if you are the listening the music at that time, you cannot do any other task like the your documentations or printer tasking like that. Then we have to go to the another types of operating system, that is the time sharing operating system. The time sharing means at the same time the CPU can share their execution time to the different processes. That is called the time sharing operating systems. One is the hardware, another is the human. For examples, one is the hardware, another is the human. And in this hardware, suppose whenever the human or user or end program try to access the or use the computer by the help of hardware like the keyboard and mouse, at that time the hardware the getting cheaper. That means if we have experience, we have a means user experience, automatically we have to easily handle the hardware maintenance. That is called a hardware getting cheaper and human getting expensive. Okay, that is the main concept of the time sharing operating system. By the help of the time sharing operating system, the hardware getting cheaper and the human becomes getting expensive. Okay, then how we have to explain here the program's queued of execution in a FIFO order. The whenever you have to perform the time sharing operations over the execution over jobs, that the job should maintain one order, and that order is called the FIFO order. Because at a time, which process a CPU, if at a time more than one process has come for execution, the CPU will distinguish which process will be executed fast. That is the one criteria is those processes are executed fast. That process will be those process which process has come fast for execution, that will get the chance fast for execution. That is a fast in fast out, fast in fast out order. Like a multi-programming operating system, but time or device interrupts after a quantum or time slice. Means If in case of multi-programming operating system, we can also use the time sharing concept. Means in a multi-programming operating system at a time we can perform more than one task at a time. If multi-program will converted in the time sharing system, if you have to implement a concept of time quantum, means for particular particular amount of time or time quantum, the one process will be executed. Whenever the time quantum is completed, then another process will be come executed, and that process will go to the waiting queue for the execution next time. Okay, that is called the time slicing or time quantum. How can you perform the time quantum? This is an interrupted program automatically, obviously. When after this process is not completed his execution, but due the finishing or ending of the time slice, that process will interrupted, another process will get the chance for executions. Like that, the interrupted program is returned to the end of a fast of FIFO queue. Next program is taken from the head of the FIFO queue. In this way, we have to enter the time slice or multi-programming concept over time sharing operating systems. The next one is the control card interrupter replaced by command language interrupter. It is a very important one. The control card interrupter replaced by the command language interrupter. We know in this world everybody is not compatible with the computer systems. Okay, if we have to say them, for example, we consider an example in ATM systems. In ATM system, whenever you have to perform some operations, means draw or deposit, we have to use the one control code that is called the ATM debit card. Okay, debit card. If we have to say all the users, rather than the interrupt card, ATM card, you have to use some command language. Means there is no chance of loss of ATM card. There is no chance of scratch of the ATM card. That's why you have to use the interrupt language interrupter, command language interrupter. But it is very difficult for everybody. Those people are not illiterate to the computer. They cannot use the command language, because command language is only user friendly. Those people are associated with a particular programming language, but every people is not associated with the programming language. That's why in that this point tells that a control card interrupter replaced by command language interrupter, then it will be time sharing operating systems. Next, and another characteristic is the time sharing operating system, the interactive means action or response. The particular means, for example, in the missile launching, in the interactive actions and response. For example, when operating system the finishes execution of one command, it seeks the next control statement from user. That's why we have to say the time sharing operating system should be interactive. Means you are performing some execution by the help of a command. If that execution is completes, you have to take the control statement from the user. That's why it takes action and response. Every like that, every action and reactions, equal and opposite reactions, like that. When you have to perform the actions, like the finishes operating system execution. Whenever the execution is finishes, then it seeks the net. It transfer the controls to the from user. It takes the control from the user. That's why it is the response. Next is the time. Another characteristic of the time sharing operating system, it is a file systems. Means the online file system is required for user to access data and code. That means time sharing system should be a file systems. It cannot be done in the manually. Time sharing system never can be done through the manually. It is from the online file systems, because the time sharing we do not bothering about which process will be executed for which time and which time it will be completed. That's why we have to maintain a online file system. Whenever the process will be completed, Then it will take out from the job queue and placed in the ready queue, like that, to access the data and the code. In case of example, in case of ATM, there is an online transaction. In case of online, you have to perform the ATM actions, online transactions. Then there is a meaning of some codes are written. That codes can be accessed whenever you have to withdraw the money, then access the data and access the code of software. Depending upon the software or file system, it will perform the online file, it will maintain the online file system. The second one is the virtual memory. Virtual memory, one concept. Virtual memory concept tells that, for example, suppose whatever systems you have to use, that systems are maybe laptop or desktop, it has a RAM or main memory. And main memory is limited, means it has a capacity of storage capacity of 4 GB, 8 GB or 16 GB, like that. But whenever you want to store your file beyond the whose size is, you have to store a file, that file size is more than the your computer main memory size, then it is not possible. How the larger amount of file is stored in the less storage space? In that case, we have to implement one concept that is called as the virtual memory, and a virtual memory can be directly interacted with the time sharing operating system. Means particular moment of time, it will read some part of the files, and after some time, it will read another some amount of times. That is the how can we perform? Now job is swapped in and out of a memory to disk. Okay, that's why the virtual memory can be implemented, can be used in the time sharing operating system by using the spooling, means simultaneously the peripheral operation online, that is called the swap in and swap out of a memory to disk. Those processes are completed, then from memory to disk, and another the memory will be a free space, then take a job from disk to memory. Then we have to, that is the concept is called the virtual memory. Then we have to, like that, one example, the personal computer system on a PC, a single user system is portables, like that. You can, I have already told about these points. IO devices, keyboard, mouse, display screens, small printers, like that. These are the hardware chips. Laptop and laptops, smart cards, wireless devices, that is the personal computer systems components, that is they are working with the time sharing operating system. Single user system may not be need advanced CPU utilization of or protection features. If only one file or one process is executed by the CPU, there is no chance of loss of data, means overlapping of data or missing of data. That's why there is no need of protections. What are the advantage of the time sharing operating system? User convenience, means easily and responsiveness and ubiquitous. That is the main disadvantage. User convenience means anybody, it is easy to handle. Responsiveness means whenever you have to give the actions, that actions has some response. And ubiquitous means it can perform multiple tasks, and there is no loss of data, there is no missing of data, and whenever your system will scratch, that can be also recovery, that can be also recovery by the ubiquitous systems. Okay, now this is the advantage of the time sharing operating system. Next we have to go to the, this is the personal computing system. Like we can use the parallel systems at a time more than once, multiprocessor systems with more than one CPU in close communication, that is called the parallel systems. Okay, the parallel systems take the same input, it produce the multiple outputs. Parallel systems, it improved throughput, economical, increased and reliability, like that. Whenever you have to improve the parallel systems, It improved throughput because there is more than one CPU. With the more than one CPU, automatically more than one jobs are executed. If more than one jobs are executed in a particular moment of time, automatically system performance will be increased. That is called throughput is increased. But it is economical because the CPU is costly to maintain. Next, the increased reliability. Increased, improve the throughput, improve the economical. Means if the how it will be in parallel systems, how it will improve the economical. Now, whenever you have to individual systems, then every system has a CPU, every system has individual hardware peripheral devices like the mouse, keyboards. If every individual system has individual mouse, keyboards, hardware components, automatically it's more economical. But how can you reduce the economical? By the help of parallel system. In case of parallel system, there is more than one CPU, but we can control this more than one CPU, or we can operate that more than one CPU by the help of a single devices, single monitor, single mouse, like that, single peripheral devices. That's why it improves the economical concepts, economical feasibility. That's the increased reliability. Increased reliability means by the help of a single user, we can perform more than one task at a time. Now, what are the kinds of the parallel systems? Are maybe of vector and pipelining systems. Already we have read in the computer organizing systems. That is the symmetric and asymmetric multiprocessing. Symmetric, asymmetric means simultaneously or at the different timely the multiple processing will be executed. Next, the distributed memory versus shared memory. Distributed memory, the versus shared memory. This is different kinds of a parallel system. The parallel, we can realize the parallel system in terms of vector and pipeline. We can realize the parallel system by the symmetric and asymmetric multiprocessing, and also we can realize the parallel systems by distributed memory and the shared memory. Okay, and this concept will be discussed briefly whenever you have to read the virtual memory. Next is the program models. The program models means the tight coupled versus loose coupled, message based versus shared variable. Tight couple, loose couple means whenever you have to maintain a software, whenever you have to maintain a time sharing concept in your operating system, that is needed of some tightly coupled and loose coupled operating system, and message based versus shared variables. This is a very important concept we have to discuss later. What is the tight coupled, what is the loose coupled? But in case, for example, in case of C, a C is a strictly data type language, but a pointer is a loosely coupled data type or variables. That's why in this way we have to discuss later on. Okay, since it is introduction part, we have to remember all these things and we have to discuss one by one. Last one is the real-time operating systems. This is a very important or most important operating systems, real-time operating systems. In generally, the applications of real-time operating systems are used in the missile launching or air traffic controls or railway traffic control systems. Means in missile launching, in which time the particular seconds or fractions of time the missile will be launched in such a that our target will be achieved or it will be hit the targets. If one fraction of seconds it will be missed, then missile cannot achieve the target. That is very important to the fractions of seconds or fractions of nanoseconds amount of time to launch the missiles to achieve their or to hit their goals. That is called the real-time operating system. Like that, in case of air traffic control systems, if we have to perform the scheduling, in which time which aeroplane will be landing and it will be dispatched, that can be done by a operating system or a software, that is called the real-time operating system software. And like that, in case of a library maintenance, if the big library, it is very difficult to maintain the which library, which book is available in which section of the or which part of a library room. That's why it can be done by the real-time operating system. And there is the another application of the in case of a railway reservation system. In railway reservation system, the whenever we have to book a ticket at the same time, but database is one, that the railway, but at the same time, the many users from the different corners of the country are trying to reserve a particular seat. If it will not maintain properly, then there is a problem. If in the moment of time, if we have to book one city of one bogie, if that seat is booked by another user, so then it is a error. It is a difficult. It is a problem. If this type of problem can be handled by the real-time operating system, so the first point is that the correct system functions depends on timelines. Correct system functions depends on timelines. Feedback correct system, I told that in the very fractions of nanoseconds is needed to launch the vehicle. That's why correct system function depends on timelines. The feedback and control loops means it will continue for the unlimited amount of time. That's why it is called the control loops. Sensor and actuators must have a work. Must have a sensor, must have actuators or perceptors. Hard real-time system means failure if response time too long. Hard real-time system means whenever you have to launch a particular satellite or particular missiles, for the we have to design in such a that if it failures, but after the long period of time, that's why failure if response time too long. The secondary storage is limited. Secondary storage is limited in case of hard real-time systems, because if we have to if we have to decrease the secondary storage devices, we have to increase the main memory. That is why hard real-time system. Then what is the soft real-time systems? Less accurate in response time too long. Means already I have told that the whenever you have to book a ticket from the IRCTC of India, then automatically it should be more accurate. If it is less accurate, the response is too long, like that. Second one is the useful in applications such as multimedia, virtual and reality. Useful in applications such as multimedia, virtual and reality. Obviously, whenever you have to perform some applications over multimedia and a virtual reality, that can be one type of software real systems. For example, so in case of a virtual memory concept, if we have stored a large file in a less memory capacity, that can be done by some useful actions such as swap in and swap out from main memory to secondary memory. That's what called the virtual reality, multimedia and a virtual. That's why we conclude that in the operating systems are available in everywhere. In every time, every moment of time, we have to use the operating systems. In the watch, we have also used the digital watch. Is also one time of operating systems, like that a microphone, headphone, mobile phones, laptop and desktops, etc. And it is the everywhere we have to use the operating systems by using the different types of categories of operating systems. Okay, and this is the all about different types of operating systems and their working functionality, advantage and a disadvantage in our life. In the every moment of time, in the every places, we have to realize the we have to realize the presence of operating system. Whatever smartphones we have used, inside that there is operating systems. Maybe iOS, maybe or Android operating system. Like that in case of digital clock. The digital clock, there is inside it, there is operating systems. And like that in microphones or micro headphones, etc. And the laptop desktop, we have to install the real time different types of operating system. This is the all about our types of operating systems, different types of operating systems. Now, in the next, we have to end the today lectures. In the next class, we have to discuss what are the introduction part is over. Introduction part is over. Next, we have to read what are the process and program concepts. Okay. Thank you.